joining me is now Poulomi Saha, joining me from the national capital with what the government is saying in terms of the allegations made by the India Alliance, and Ayush as well, our technology editor, who's going to tell us exactly what this message really means. Does it really mean that the state is spying on you, or is it something routine which happens, or can happen? Poulomi, what is the explanation given by government sources on why only leaders from the opposition have got this message?
Preeti, this is, of course, a matter of investigation. The government says that they've ordered an inquiry. It was, of course, said in a press conference earlier this afternoon by the Union Minister for Information and Technology, Ashwini Vaishnav, when he, of course, spoke with the media in Bhopal. So an inquiry has been ordered. They say that they will reach out to Apple, of course, to provide them with data as to why exactly were these threat notifications sent out to these specific users. Though, of course, Apple says that they don't want to, reveal, as per what they put out on their website, the cause of why these threat notifications have gone out, because then it would be alerting the said state-sponsored attackers in a way that they could adapt themselves to better protect themselves from any sort of detection in the future. But of course, if a government approaches, the case could be completely different. They, of course, have said that all of these members who have, in fact, raised the red flag should just wait for an inquiry to be conducted. Though, of course, the minister did point out to a notification, an advisory which was sent in by CERT-In in July this year itself, which basically said that there are certain vulnerabilities as far as iPhone users are concerned, and everyone should be aware of the same, because their phones, their devices could be susceptible to some form of attack or another. So they should be taking a lot of precautions, the same kind of precautions that Apple, in fact, puts out on its website for those who have been attacked as a result of state-sponsored attacks. In terms of two-factor authentication, changing your passcode, downloading your apps only from the App Store, etc., etc. Preeti.
All right. Poulomi, one quick question before we let you go. You've had Piyush Goyal, who's come out and said that this is a possible malfunction on certain other, platforms. He's also suggested that he's also received the same message. Has anybody from the BJP and the government also received a similar message?
Well, Preeti, Piyush Goyal, of course, was referring to others that he knows of. It's not Piyush Goyal himself. Others that he knows of who are not in public life, who are not public representatives, who in fact have received this message. One of them, of course, Mr. Samir Saran, who is of the ORF, has come out himself, and he said that he's received this threat notification last evening as well, around about the same time that everyone got this threat notification. If you look at the screenshots, they're all tweeting of these notifications from between about 11:45 to 11:47, when they all received it simultaneously. This is, of course, a matter of investigation. It will have to be investigated as to how exactly did this happen. Was it an algorithm malfunction? Whether it was, something very specific in nature? Only Apple can answer that at the moment.
All right, appreciate you joining us. Thanks, Poulomi, for giving us on what the government is saying, and especially the BJP, who's called it nothing but a figment of the India Alliance or the opposition's imagination that the government's trying to snoop on them. Ayush, I want to bring you in. Now, what's happened is that in the afternoon, you had a explanation of sorts which was released by Apple, but that's not very different on what is already on their website, where certain messages like this, when they are given out, what it really means.
Absolutely, Preeti. Look, that was a clarification that we got here on India Today and Tech Today as soon as we reached out to them. And honestly, given what was happening in the Apple cycle of things, there was a major event with the launch of their devices earlier this morning, and they did respond shortly after some of these social media posts went public. Now, in terms of what happened, I was listening to your conversation, and very pertinent points raised out there. The original messages, which were screenshots shared by some of these persons, said that state-sponsored attackers may be targeting your iPhone. Now, the clarification says Apple does not attribute the threat notifications to any specific state-sponsored attacker. It doesn't really clarify whether a particular state-sponsored attacker was involved. Who is a state-sponsored attacker? Like you were saying, does it mean that it doesn't necessarily allude to it being the government as well? So it is a general statement, quite vague if you ask me, but they have also alluded to points of there being false alarms and some attacks not going detected. This has happened before. It's happened in 2021, but this is a company in the larger tech space that takes privacy and security very seriously. If we go back to 2016, we know what happened in the Apple and FBI case, where the San Bernardino shooter's iPhone had to be unlocked. And I think the company resisted those claims right till the end, till a third party was brought in And if you had more than 10 failed attempts at opening that encryption and that password, the phone would, all the data would be eliminated. So I feel like there's a lot more to come in this particular story. And more importantly, after IT Minister Ashwini Vaishna's press conference, the fact that the government has gone out there and said that an inquiry will be initiated and Apple will also be brought into this, and a lot more things will come to light in the coming days, Preeti.
All right, well, let's see what really comes to light. Till now, there's going to be a massive political slugfest. Ayush, appreciate you joining us. Well, food for thought. Till now, at least prima facie, it does seem that only opposition leaders have received this particular message, with Apple warning them of possible state or non-state actors trying to hack into their device. But having said that, you've had Mr. Rajiv Chandrasekhar, who on a different news platform has said somebody like a Piyush Goyal has also got this message.